All right, take a look. Oh my goodness, look at this. How cool is that? There's one there, there's one back here, there's one there, and then there's one back in the very back as well. So that is about 4 on this one plant. I have never grown eggplant. I'm excited to use it. Let's do a little bit of tomato pruning. I've got some stuff that really has gotten away from me. So I'm gonna show you how I normally would just go ahead and prune my tomatoes. And this is pretty much a weekly thing right now. With all the growth that's happening, it really needs to happen weekly, if not multiple times a week, because they really get away from you quickly. Okay, let's start with this plant here. I haven't done too much on this one. As you can see, we've got some low branches here. Kind of rule of thumb for me is anything that touches the ground needs to go. So this one right here, you can see, this is touching the ground. And you can see how bad, see the holes, the bugs have gotten to it. Look at that. I mean, it's just, they don't get healthy. Once they start touching the ground, they become not healthy, and they're not doing anything for the plant except helping to introduce disease. So what I'm gonna do is, this is too big right here to just snap off with my hands. And if I were to do that, I could open up a wound and I could actually tear this down here, and that would create a big wound. You do not want that on your tomatoes, especially as they get bigger. You do not want to be introducing anything that could help disease get in there. So I am going to use my clippers, which I just have this pair. They're nothing fancy. Got them at Walmart, I believe, but they do the job. So I am going to take it right here. There we go. I'm just going to cut it off like that. See? So there you go. See that? Not great. Get rid of that. Now we have a really nice stem right here. I'm looking, and this one is not touching the, well, no, it's not really touching the ground, but it's about to, and I really think that one can come off as well. So again, we're just gonna cut it right there. So, there we go. Okay, another one. So now we've got a really nice stem here. There's nothing else I'm gonna take off of the bottom of this. See, we got this one here, which is almost touching the ground, but it's high up. So I'm gonna wait a little longer to take this one, okay? And also something else you wanna check for while you're here is suckers. Now look right here. This sucker has gotten away from me. This one right here. That's a sucker. I am gonna go ahead and just use my thumbnail right here. Right there. And just gonna put it off like that. This is something you could root. So this is a sucker. It basically has all the parts necessary to create another plant. So it's gonna do the side leaves, it's gonna send out the flower shoots. So it's gonna have the multiple leaders and everything else. You could absolutely root this if you wanted to. I have plenty of tomatoes, and I do not need to root anymore. I already did a couple, so I'm not going to do that. But that would be a good one to root, and put it in water or directly in soil, and in about 7 days it will produce good roots on that one. So that one was definitely got away from me. And let's check these neighboring plants as well. Okay, here's another one. Now here we go, we got a little sucker in there, just a little one. This is about the size you want to try to get. I mean, this is not very big. I'm just going to pop it right out like that. Also, as you can see, look, oh my gosh. This is so exciting for me. So these are some of my first little baby tomatoes, and they're all on cherries pretty much, which is expected. Cherries usually come and go first, so I'm excited. I've got a whole bunch of plants with little ones on there. Also, something I do want to point out here is how I tie my tomatoes up. You can see that. Let's see if we can get it to, there we go. See that? This is a tie. So it is just tied to the fence there. And I get this tie tape on Amazon. It was like $10 for the roll. Actually, maybe less. It was probably less than that. And I've been tying up all my rows of tomatoes with it, and I will continue to tie it up. It's really neat. Mine here, you see how it's potato leafed? And these others are like regular type. But these are big old potato leaves, which I think is really cool. But they'll grow big old tomatoes. So that'll come later. None of my big tomatoes are getting any kind of fruit. Oh, look. Oh my goodness. Look at this guy. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh, he's even got his little stripes already. This is a, here we go. I did not spell this very well. Let's see if it'll focus. Let's see. There you go. Okay. Okay, that will be a little red striped cherry tomato is what that's going to be. I will put up the name of it on the screen because I cannot pronounce it, or I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's just be honest. So, oh man, that's a big one though. That's the first time I've seen that one. So, I tell you what, they get away from you. You come out here and you find these tiny ones, and then all of a sudden, you push back some leaves, and bam, you got a big tomato. So yeah, oh, I got a whole bunch coming in. There's another one back in there, look at that. Oh, I'm so excited. I love tomatoes. Here's another one of those Brandywine tomatoes with the big potato leaves on them. That one's a little raggedy. But I was just looking as I was going down here, and I noticed this one is starting to touch down here. And you can see, look how tattered that is. We've had really bad wind lately too. But look how thick this is. That's not something you want to just rip off. That would rip. You would like have a sliver where you would tear it. We don't want that. So, definitely going to cut this one about there. I don't like to have it completely against the main stem. I just like it to be a little bit out. And there we go, cut like that. So you can see that's a big one here. But see, I mean, they're not healthy. They just start getting that kind of stuff when they touch the ground. So just take them off and move on. And you can see now we've got a really nice clean stem. As it grows, this one will go next. But I'm not going to do that right now. I could. It doesn't affect the plants. It really doesn't. But it comes down to how many open wounds do you really want on your tomatoes. Like here's this one right here on this guy. I'm going to go ahead and take that one off as well. Like that. There we go. Now see how clean that is? This one's really clean here. This one's getting low, but it's not touching. It's fine, but I do see a little sucker right in there. Right there. There it is. We're going to pull that out. There we go. Oh, wow. This one has quite a few suckers, actually. Let's see. There's one. See, I haven't been out here doing this for about 3 days. Here's another one here. And, ooh, there's a lot of mosquitoes. Yeah, we just, oh look, here's a humongous sucker that got away from me. Look at this guy right here. This one right here is a sucker. So that is, yeah, right there. This guy right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull him out. I'm going to use my thumbnail. I just got my thumbnail down in here. Right down in there. And I'll make a nice clean cut. There we go. See that? That is a full-blown plant right there. I mean, that would be an awesome sucker to root. But like I said, I do not need any more, but I'm not gonna lie. That one, it's hard to pass up because that is beautiful. Oh, look at this, guys. See if you can see this. I can get it to focus in here. This one, look at that. Oh, it has its color. Look at it, it's starting to get its color. This is a, oh, this is a blue gold. I just found another one here that needs some work, and actually I think my cat has decided to lay on my tool. So, isn't he pretty? Okay, thank you, buddy. So, let's grab a few of these. So you see right here, this one is touching the ground, but on the other side, that one is not, but look at that leaf. See how it's yellowing and it's not looking healthy, it's getting brown? Just gonna take that off. I mean, we don't We don't need to leave it there. Not when it's looking like that. So I'll just trim that off and trim that off there. So there we go. Now that looks much cleaner. You really want a clean look. See these? Look at the ones I've done down here. I mean, get that out of the way, but look how clean those are. That is what's going to help these plants, you know, not get diseases. We are in high humidity, high heat, and this is where the diseases start. Look at this. Look at the bugs. The bugs have just been on this. Yeah, I thought I saw something there. Look at that. That's just not, that's not healthy for the plant. And so I'm gonna take that one off too. There you go. That was a big one. Look how big that is. But that's okay. Plant doesn't need it. And I can see this one here is touching and not in great shape. So that one's gonna go next. There you go. Just like that. Easy. Now look at that. Look at all these. That's the goal. That's what I want. And you can see this one is not tied up yet. And it's starting to lean a little bit. Look at him, he's leaning out. So, but it hasn't had a really good thing to tie. See, this is kind of a little branch, and it's almost there though. I can almost tie it up. So I tend to wait a little bit till I got a little bit of a meatier type branch, because we do get a lot of wind, and I really don't want the wind, you know, putting a lot of force on a little weak branch. Not that it probably wouldn't be the end of the world if it broke, but look at this one right here. Yeah, see, you can see this plant here. So a little bit of a honesty here. This is the first time I planted using these trellises, these cattle panels, and I did not plant these close enough. You can see how far out. It's hard to tell, but it is far out from the actual panel, and so you can see how I've had to tie it. I've literally had to like pull it back hard. And this is fine. I mean, you know, it's got no broken stems or anything, but that's not ideal. So next year, I've learned my lesson. I will be planting things a lot closer underneath, like directly underneath the trellis. So I'm just gonna take this off. Look how long this branch is. This is a long branch, and it's just not needed. So there we go. Yeah, and actually this one too is high up, but it's touching the ground. So snap that off as well. There you go. It looks dramatic, but it's okay. It's better for the plant. That looks much better on that guy. So that's just a little bit. This row has had quite a bit of pruning. This row has had not enough. So I'm going to continue down this row and finish that up. But here's a look, and that's my kitty. But these are my 2 rows. I have them planted on both sides. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm gonna see how these turn out. So far they're doing great, so I'm thinking right. But I've seen other people who use these who actually have a panel here and put another panel here, and then they just plant on the outsides. I planted one panel, or I put one panel up and I planted on both sides. So it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of tomatoes. Thank you for hanging out with me, and we will see you next time.